If you say you haven't been jealous of someone, you're lying. That's it. What do you think of when you think of jealousy?
Well, I immediately think the green-eyed monster.
Well, I think jealousy has negative connotations.
It's okay to be jealous. It's natural.
I think we can all point to certain moments where we've looked at someone else and wanted what they had in a way.
Maybe common thing in what jealousy means to me is when you see somebody living a life or living in the way that one strives for.
Welcome to Jealous Podcast, presented by Bing Bang. Dolly's everyone's hype man. Dolly isn't going to shit on anyone. That's why we love her. That and about a million other reasons. All right. You ready to do this?
I'm ready.
I think we're already kind of doing it. Welcome to Jealous Podcast, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's Friday.
It is Friday.
It's a Hawkeye game day.
It's a Hawkeye game day. It's the first day of October.
I didn't walk in, though, blaring Back in Black.
Why
so I'm
not?
a little disappointed in myself.
I was disappointed in you, too. It's something we'll have to discuss during our one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's the first strike.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Why didn't you do it?
I don't know. I came in a little bit later than I usually do because I get here.
I also noticed that.
A little bit
Just
after
kidding.
8:30. I'm not going to tell you the story why. No, I am.
Go for it. We're on a podcast.
So I'm just going to come straight up clean.
Okay.
Yesterday, I had to wear my wife's deodorant because I ran out. And so today, I wasn't going to make that same mistake. So I stopped off at Hy-Vee,
Oh, my God.
got my deodorant,
Okay.
and then in the parking lot, I'm just putting it on.
All right.
And I got here about 8:38. So I was 8 minutes late than I usually get into the
Oh,
office.
my gosh. Okay, this is funny for a multitude of reasons. Okay. Dear audience, we have two Aarons in the building now. We have Aaron Young and we have the female Aaron. I can't pronounce her last name. Olmeyer. That's hard. Are you guessing? Aaron? Anyway, we're going to have to cut this out.
Aaron Yu.
Aaron U and Aaron A. And the other day I walked past one of our editing caves and Aaron was sitting in there, Aaron, female Aaron, and I said, Aaron, you smell good. And then I just went to my office and I noticed like some heads turned and I don't know, Shelby had fear in her eyes and she's like, that was weird. And I was like, oh my God, everyone thinks I just told Aaron A on his second day that he smells good. How inappropriate. I want to just clear my name right now. I didn't. I told Aaron U that she smelled good, but actually maybe it was you if you were wearing your wife's deodorant.
It might have been me. But what was it the second day, though?
When was it? Your first?
No, it was yesterday. When I had
Oh,
I
okay.
had
All right.
put that bad boy on.
That was a horrible story I just told. It didn't make any sense, but I'm not a linear storyteller ever. There's loops.
But it's okay because then I think it was yesterday or Wednesday when you ladies were all talking in the corner, and I think Aaron was showing a photo of a good-looking man. And I think it was right before we were going to walk into a meeting, and I just, kind of pop over. That guy's sexy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this place is we're close here. So that was funny. And he was sexy. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome to the team. You're already fitting in quite nicely, I would say, as long as, no red flags. Probably maybe a few red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. On your end.
Really?
Are there?
I don't think so.
Yeah, are you sure?
I hope not.
Okay, HR is in the building, so if you have any complaints, go talk to her, Lori.
Yeah.
So why Bing Bang, Aaron?
Yeah. So for me, given my background coming from, which I'm sure we'll get into, coming from the newspaper world to then school PR, Bing Bang and I kind of already had that relationship given some projects that we've kind of collaborated on. And so I kind of been exposed a little bit to the culture and everything that Bing Bang stands for, represents, is all about. It's kind of what I'm looking for in my life. And I felt like kind of at this stage where I'm at, I guess personally and professionally, I was missing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the opportunity came to join Bing Bang, it was kind of a no-brainer. And so put my name in the ring for my current role as account strategist and just kind of went with the punches, and here we are.
Here we are. And you're going to be telling the stories of many of our clients on for Bing Bang as well. And so what are you just the most excited about moving forward in this role?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, probably just that, the storytelling aspect, being able to be leveraging teammates' creative outlets and their mindsets, and just kind of putting that all together and putting together multiple projects and exceeding the expectations that maybe clients have on us, and maybe even our own expectations of what we have for ourselves. So just meeting that bar and continuously setting that bar more and more as I guess I continue to grow with the team.
Awesome. So just like rewinding it all the way back, is this where did you want to be when you were a little kid? Like what did you want to do when you were a little kid? And how has your journey kind of brought you to a position like this?
Yeah, I think anyone who kind of grows up with sports in their life, they always think, "Oh, I'm going to be a professional athlete." And so for me, baseball was kind of my outlet growing up. And then once I realized I was 5'8" and at the time about 155 pounds, wasn't going to cut it. Even though I played in college, but it's like, nah, those pro dreams, they're washed up at this point. So then, growing up when I was about in high school, I always wanted to be a sports writer, a newspaper reporter. And, growing up in Des Moines, I'm from Urbandale originally, but growing up in Des Moines, you just kind of idolize those who work for the Des Moines Register. And so that was kind of my goal all along. Once, I get done playing baseball, what would be my next step be after baseball? And so going into journalism, working for a newspaper and, writing a sports column was kind of my dream. And so, yeah, I just had that passion for writing, for telling other people's stories. I think I just kind of have that knack for getting into that essence of showcasing the human side. We're all relatable. And so there were a lot of great writers who were from the Register that really excelled at doing that. And then fortunately, yeah, as I graduated college, I was able to be on board first on the digital desk at the Register, and then as a reporter, as a journalist. And so I always thought, honestly, when I was younger, that once I had my eyes set for working for a newspaper, that I would be a lifetime Des Moines Register scribe.
Yeah.
But then obviously that didn't happen
Yeah.
because I went into a different direction later on in life. But
Yeah. Wasn't that kind of surreal though for you when you did take that job? Because just like you said, you had read that or seen your parents reading that paper, or I don't know, it was probably just a big part of your life growing up around Des Moines. What was that like for you to actually then be sitting there at a desk?
I mean, I think it was surreal for everybody that was been part of my life, especially family, of course, because again, we're all from Des Moines. We all grew up reading the paper. They still do. And for me, just being in the same, having a desk nearby Kyle Munson, collaborating with Mike Kylan, being able to work on a couple of projects with Rodney White, who I get to work
Who's
with here.
that?
Yeah, who is that? Being able to work with him on a couple of projects too when I was more on the reporting side. It was really surreal being around these people that I kind of idolized growing up, just witnessing their work. And then as I get to be on their team, learning from them. And that was that. But for real, I think for my family, it was especially surreal because then, they see their kid's name in the paper, and it's probably the same with those who work in TV. They see them, the friends or their nephews or, whatever the case may be, on television. So yeah, it was definitely, it was a whole bunch. It was a fun experience for sure.
That's so cool. And I don't think like as little kids, when we idolize, things like the Des Moines Register or that job at the, the anchor on TV, it's like, it feels like there's a million steps to get there. But isn't it crazy how once you become older and you're actually just so close, you're just not that far. It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You're not actually that far from meeting that person to get you that job or do that opportunity. It's just, it takes some hustle and a little bit of bravery, I guess. So
yeah. Well, and it just showed me even too with some of the stories I've worked on, the pieces of just how small the world.
yeah.
I mean, I guess Iowa truly is. I mean, everything seems to be connected. We can all relate to so many things that make us human. And I think as I've gotten older and as I've kind of experienced my own life with, especially with my mom, that kind of really put a whole different kind of perspective, I guess, for me, both personally and professionally. And so just kind of using that experience at the Register, I think, has really helped me grow both as a communications professional and then just as a human, as a friend, as a husband.
Yeah. Awesome. You gave me goosebumps, Aaron. Gosh. All right. So after you left the register, you went in a different direction, like you said. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So after the register, I left. So I was with the register for about 5 years. It was my first job, I guess, while I was still in college. And then I left in May of 2018. And then I joined the communications team for the West Des Moines Community Schools. So I was there with the district for about 3.5 years before I joined Bing Bang. And so we were all, it lined up perfectly for me because the opportunity was to really kind of showcase that human side of the district. And that was kind of my goal of really just showing our stakeholders, our community, students, staff, whatever the case may be, just making everyone seem relatable. And I had a whole bunch of fun going from the storytelling aspect, from stories and videos, photographs, and then it got even further where I got to learn more about branding. And I've already worked in social media, but then really like managing it on the school level, working with parent groups, athletics, foundation, the board, all that kind of stuff. And then COVID hit, and it really kind of shifted my perspective in our job, where we still wanted to showcase that positive news and really promote that message of what is the West Des Moines Community Schools, but also adding in all those nuances and those expectations of proper COVID communication and transparency. And I think even now, West Des Moines does a great job with like, those COVID dashboards and providing good communication to that degree. But it's just it's a different kind of beast. And whether it's a school district, whether you're a business, everyone was impacted, and it's been crazy, and it still is crazy.
Yeah, that would have been extremely hard to difficult to navigate, especially on the school side. You don't know what's right, and you don't know what news is going to come out tomorrow, or what kind of update's going to come out tomorrow, that if you say something today, it could be completely different tomorrow. I guess that is with everything, but COVID specifically. So good for you, and good for you guys.
Yeah.
And also working for the school, I bet that was kind of surreal too, just kind of taking a peek behind the curtain. I feel like when we're kids and we're in school, especially high school, we feel like we're the people that are working the hardest every day. And then you get to see what goes on to keep everything running. Was that kind of a cool experience as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And just how much has changed. I mean, I'm a 2010 graduate of Urbandale, and, even in 8 years, once I come to the school district side of things, being behind the scenes and just kind of knowing what all goes into curriculum planning and what all goes into student learning and all the technology that they get to work with today. Like, I mean, I remember back when I was in high school, I think we were just getting, Apple laptops, and we were checking them out. And then now kids get to take those home, and they get they know the internet, they understand it, and they're growing up with it. And it was just coming out when we were in school.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the era of the Apple computers that all had the different colors, in our computer lab.
Yeah.
You don't even need a computer
lab
anymore.
The blue, the desktop, like the blue, the orange.
The blue, the orange, the purple. God, that ages me so much, but that was a recovered memory. You just walk in, there's so much color, but they don't even need computer labs anymore.
Yeah.
Because you can take your computer wherever. Those damn kids, I tell you what.
Well, even tablets. Like, we have had kids as young as, kindergarten age, where they're being able to use a tablet. It's scary. It's wild.
It is scary. I bought my 2-year-old a tablet, and he was on it too much. I took it from him. He thinks it got lost in a fire or something. I'm not ready to give it back to him, man. He already is probably smarter than I am. Oh my gosh. All right. So now you've talked about your experience, but who are you as a person, not just an employee?
Yeah, no, I think first and foremost, and I'll probably get either made fun of by this or get some props for it, but I'm a husband. So
you wore her deodorant.
You already
admitted that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, no, my wife, Megan, and I, we've been married now for almost a year. Our anniversary is October 10th, so it's coming up. 10/10/2020 was our wedding, so we got married during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And that was wild in itself.
What was that like, planning a wedding during a pandemic? Did you have to push it back a couple times, or did you just decide?
No, so we got engaged in 2018. So our plan all along was to have a long engagement, just to go through the planning process, to really save up money and really have our dream wedding. Not in our dream, though. We expected COVID to come hit.
Sure.
And so we've had a couple kind of issues pop up where our original wedding venue had changed their business model, and so we had to find a new venue.
Mm-hmm. That's
Uh,
always fun.
Yeah, our wedding officiant had come down with COVID, or they were
Oh.
impacted by COVID in some way, where they could no longer be our
Oh,
wedding
oh,
officiant.
no.
And this was maybe about a month or so before the wedding, maybe a couple weeks.
Oh no.
And then we've had some relatives who've also come down with COVID.
Yeah.
So it kind of just started to get dwindle, and it felt like, man, is this going to be like the wedding from hell? Is this a sign that maybe we shouldn't get married? Which never, I don't think ever crossed, I hope didn't cross my wife's mind. Never crossed mine.
Wink.
Yeah. But no, but overall, once everything, I like to think that both Megan and I are really good planners, especially me. I try to stay organized in that sense, where I'm just, trying to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and double, triple checking. But then once, 10/10/2020 came, it was our wedding of our dreams, because of all the vendors we worked with, the family that we had there, the friends. Even though we were masked for a good majority, I think everyone had a great time.
Yeah.
And I've had 2 nephews born in 2020, so I feel like having a child during COVID is a lot tougher than planning a wedding. But
Yeah, I don't think it's probably easy. Just ask Sam over there. He did it. September of 2020. Yeah. Yeah. Just 2 weeks ago. Wow. Yeah, we had cash in November of 2019. So I was just at home with a newborn as it was all coming out. I think I had come back to work February, and then we were sent home the very next month. In fact, Grace, who's no longer with the company, but she came back on the 16th, and we were sent home on the 17th. So it was just crazy how fast everything went away.
yeah. But no, yeah, husband first, son second. I guess I have my father and my stepmother. My mom had passed away in January of 2018. And I guess kind of the cool thing, when I had my first intro with the team, our show and tell of sorts, Sam, you weren't there, so you missed out on some good photos and some good rambling that I'm known to do. But kind of the cool thing, you put your marketing hat on. If everyone Googles their name, and then since my name's so common, add Des Moines, one of the first things you'll see is the piece I wrote when I was still at the register about my mom's battle with her health. She had suffered a brain bleed in June of 2017, and we just kind of chronicled her journey from that point in our lives until when she had passed away. And I think that piece is probably the proudest piece I've ever put together, I guess, professionally and personally. It was very therapeutic for me. And I think no matter when you lose someone close to you, I think I'm still going through that grieving process 3 years later. And so that I'm a son second. I'm very family oriented. Even with my in-laws, we're all extremely close. We've got group texts together.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure we'll probably see a lot of my wife's siblings this weekend or even tonight for the Hawkeye game against Maryland. And definitely family oriented. I think I'm funny. I'm probably pretty goofy. I'm definitely out there, I'd say. I am left-handed, so that baseball thing. They always say lefties they're the quirkiest kind of people.
Yeah, you're a southpaw. You're different.
Yep.
They made you a little different wherever you came from.
Yep.
I agree. You are funny. You're funny. We actually only hire funny people, so yeah. Shelby's over there like taking notes. She's like, yes.
Well, at least it's not a red flag.
It's not a red flag. I was just making sure you hadn't seen any red flags yet.
I don't know. I felt like yesterday I was feeling some type of way. I don't know.
What's that mean?
Well, no, we were in our meeting for our planning for our big event that's happening later on. I don't want to tease too much, but I was just like, man, like I can't get anything going in my head with the creative juices.
That's because it was day 4.
Yeah.
And we have already thrown like
That's
so
true.
much information at you. It's not fair for me to be like, Aaron, come on, dish it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about creatives. It's a thing. So, there's this episode of Full House. I've talked about this before on the show. It's when Uncle Joey dates a comedian. And so he brings her over. Everyone knows she's a comedian. And so they just want her to be funny. and they expect her to be funny all the time. So they're like, be funny, tell us jokes. And she's like, I can't be funny all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's how it is as a creative. You cannot be creative all the time. You have to take a little bit of time to just like come into yourself and then let the creativity simmer. We can't expect you to be creative all the time. 4 out of 5 days of the week, you have to be creative, though. Yeah. Just kidding. All right, but you're a husband, you're a son, and I've seen a couple pictures of some furry little.
I'm a dog dad. So I'm not a human dad yet, but I'm a dog dad. So we've got a 3-year-old Great Pyrenees named Stella that we rescued from A. Hines. And we have my wife, before she and I had met, a miniature schnauzer named Henry, and he's I believe 8.5 or 9.5 now.
They are both super cute.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we'll have to post some pictures along with this because they are so. That picture you took yesterday of
Henry. Yeah,
those are the perfect puppy dog.
he's definitely he's not like photogenic, but he makes good photos.
That's
Like he
how
should
I describe myself.
Like if I think honestly, my wife and I need to start, those dog Instagram accounts.
You do.
Yeah.
They don't have their own.
Nope.
Henry and Stella.
Nope.
Henry _
They're just
Stella.
always on ours because that's just all we post.
Oh yeah. I was looking back on my own Instagram this morning, to find a picture of me during Halloween of like 1991. It was a very unflattering photo. It's funny, but I was looking back before I had kids, and my dog Bash, like every other picture. I need to get him back on the grid. He deserves better than what I'm giving him right now.
Yeah.
I think your dogs deserve their own Instagram.
Yeah, and they're two of the most random dogs to be paired together. So Stella, like I said, is a Great Pyrenees. She used to weigh about 105 pounds. We got her now down to about 88 because she's had some allergy issues that we thought either would have been food or environmental. And we did one of those allergy tests where you send in like a sample of their hair, and it gets ran through a report, and it's like 12 pages long of the things that she's allergic to.
You sent like one of those online service it?
Yep. We just mail it in, and then they do their thing, and they send you back the report via email or through the mail themselves. I can't remember, but my wife did it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like a 13 page document of everything that was like in the red. So like, don't give her any of this stuff. In the yellow, you could, but like you might see some flare ups, and then everything that was in the green. And by everything, I should even say everything. It was very few things that she can have. And so we thought it would have been environmental. Like I said, we live in West Des Moines. It's kind of a woodsy area to a degree. It's very mature with the trees. And we thought, maybe she had, an allergy to grass or just whatever is going on in the environment. And then we thought it might have really have been down to her food. Mm-hmm. So that's why we did that test. And then, we've been home cooking her meals now for about 4 or 5 months. Like, this dog eats better than us most days.
Stella, where you got her from a shelter, who knows what her future could have been. And now she has home cooked meals.
She's queen.
She is a queen. What? So I want you to kind of talk about what she has, because it cracks me up, just the whole story about your wife cooking.
Yep. And it's strictly my wife that usually does the cooking, because she really stays on top of it as well. So the ingredients that we have for Stella's food is venison, quinoa, zucchini, carrot, and I think blueberries. And that's it.
And that's it. But that's a really good meal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting hungry hearing that.
Yeah.
I could probably lose 20 pounds by just eating that every day. Maybe I should try. Oh my gosh. I should call my dad. He's got and my husband, plenty of venison on in the freezer. We're Iowans.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but those two dogs, they're just the random pair, but they love each other. They sometimes get into it where like it can get a little out of hand, but it's very rare when that happens. But no, whenever we take Henry to Megan's parents in Grimes, we never really take Stella with us because it's a huge dog, sheds.
Yeah. Does she go to
Stella,
doggy daycare?
Nope. We wanted to do it, but we just haven't pursued it. She's gone through like puppy training here in town. And so, but ever like interacting with other dogs has been very rare.
Yeah.
And we also live on a busy street. And so she gets kind of timid around cars.
Yeah.
We'll go on walks every now and then,
Yeah.
but you have to make sure it's really kind of, settled out in the neighborhood before we take her out.
Stella's a diva, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah. I was saying we need to have like a mascot for the company, or we just need to have a pet day where we can bring in our animals and interact.
I would love that. We have the perfect floors for it. So let's just start that campaign soon with Brandon.
Yeah.
He has 2 cute dogs too.
Oh yeah.
He brought the one in, Jimmy. But I was gone that day, of course. Of course, they do all the fun stuff when I'm not here. Just rude. But whatever. All right. So we're actually going to bring the format back around to what this podcast is supposed to be, which is all about jealousy, which we have gotten loosey-goosey, but we're bringing it back. Who are you jealous of? Or who have you growing up, just either personally, professionally?
I mean, honestly, probably everybody.
Why?
Because I think, I maybe have, if you think it personally or professionally, we all have different things that we try to obtain or that we want to grow into. But I kind of view it in a different sense of, if you're better at this than me, why don't we team up? Why don't we make something great together? And then in that process, I can kind of learn more from you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably never get better. I'll never be better at this thing than you, but we can do some great things together. But because on the flip side, there's probably something that maybe you're jealous of me of. And so I think growing up,
That deodorant.
yeah, that deodorant especially. But no, I think growing up, baseball again. I'm undersized. I've always been told I was undersized. I could throw it a little bit.
Undersized?
Yeah.
That's the term.
You never want to hear that either.
No, you don't.
At any point in your life, you never want to hear you're undersized.
No.
You can take that any which way for the sake of this conversation. You never want to hear that.
You don't. No. No, I'm sorry.
But no, I'm pretty sure. If I have a recruiting profile out there on the internet, it'll probably say he's undersized.
I didn't know that was the verbiage used. I feel like that's rude.
Well, and it's for pitchers as well. So I was a pitcher.
Yeah.
So you want to think of especially your left-hander, anything above 6'3", just a tall fella on the mound, and they can bring it. They can throw 90 plus. That's kind of your prototype.
Okay.
And so for me, I'm 5'8", 155, not anymore.
Agile.
Yeah, and I could throw maybe around the low 80s, which isn't really anything to brag about. So there's guys that were playing these national tournaments or these showcases and they're just bringing it. And I'm like, man, I got to compete against you. What? So for me, jealousy was more when I was growing up in sports. It was just more of intimidation.
Yeah.
And so I've always would have that chip on my shoulder, and I'd compete. Maybe I'd strike you out one time, and maybe you might hit a home run off of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just competition back and forth.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, maybe there's something that people are jealous of me about, and now, especially in the professional world, we just work together. We can
That's right.
do something awesome together.
That's right. And that's what this has been all about. Just bringing in those freaking cool people who can do really cool stuff and just sitting them down and be like, how did you even do that? Rather than sit back and be like, jealous of that guy. It's for being good. Just bring him in. What's that all like why? Actually take us back to the beginning and explain how you did that and let others in on your little secret.
Yeah.
So.
And there's so many roads too that people can take to get to that same outcome. So just because you went one way doesn't mean I need to follow that way, because maybe someday I could be just as good as you. Probably won't be, but maybe if I ever get to that point, I can go in a completely different route to get to that point and get similar results.
Exactly. I like that. That's a good one. The future. What's the future hold for you?
Man, I have no idea. I think you got to take everything day by day, enjoy each day. Life is short. I think Lori said that to me on day one when coming here, kind of preaching the core values of Bing Bang. And so, just, collaboration, working together, and just growing, getting better. My career has progressed, I guess, professionally from being a journalist to going into school PR to now being an account strategist. And I think that term, that title can be so open-ended that you can define your own path that you want to take.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm just taking it day by day.
Awesome. I love it. Well, we're so glad that you're here. The team is thriving right now. And the future's going to be great for all of us. I can just feel it.
I'm stoked. I'm pumped up.
Awesome. That's great. I think that might have something to do with the deodorant, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
Make me light.
Maybe that's Friday. All right. Well, thanks for being here. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks for sure.
And we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.